Welcome to the show, everybody. MAGA world is in panic because of the following word: ceiling. It appears that Donald Trump has hit a ceiling, getting essentially zero bump from selecting JD Vance, from the Republican National Convention, from the failed assassination attempt, and from a performance that was, I guess, better than Joe Biden's in the June 27th debate, but certainly nothing particularly exciting to write home about. The peak for Trump may be right now, and he can't even get to 48% of the vote. Let me explain why this is so critical. We know that if we look at 2016, Donald Trump got 46% of the popular vote. And after everything that transpired in the 4 years between 2016 and 2020, Donald Trump in 2020 also got 46% of the popular vote. Now, by a fraction of a point, it was a little more in 2020 than in 2016. In 2016, he just eked out an electoral win. In 2020, he lost electorally, in both cases coming down to relatively few votes in just a handful or even fewer states. This time around, we were led to believe Biden is so unpopular, the administration is failing so poorly, eggs are so expensive, fill in the blanks, that it was going to be a disastrous situation for the Democratic nominee, for a long time expected to be Joe Biden, and it was just going to be awesome for Trump. And then Biden's failed debate performance, and then the excitement of the RNC, and then Trump being shot at and surviving and coming out victorious with his fist raised saying, fight, fight, fight. This was going to be explosive. And then all of a sudden, we look at the polling, and there is essentially no bump. There's nothing else he can do at this point. And with hundreds of millions of dollars pouring in to Kamala Harris's campaign, this might be it. And this is why they are so panicked. So let's take a review of the numbers. We have, across Real Clear Politics average polling, a 1.7 percentage point lead for Trump. Now, most of this polling does not yet account for Kamala Harris being the presumptive nominee. But the incredible part is that you look at the chart of polling, which there's this, if you're looking at this chart, there's this vertical black line, which is when President Biden withdrew. So to the left of that line, it was Trump versus Biden. And to the right of that line, it's Trump versus Harris. And bear in mind, we have a truncated y-axis here. So the gap between the polling looks very big, but it's actually extraordinarily small. If you look at June 26th, okay, this was the day before the debate, June 26th, Trump was leading by 1.5. 1.5 was the Trump lead on June 26th. And we look at all of these different things as we carry forward the June 27th debate, and then selecting JD Vance, and then getting shot at and surviving and getting all of this great press about how awesome and fantastic he is. And we go to where we are today, and the lead is 1.7. Okay? Think of the math of that. June 26th, Trump leading by 1.5. After all of these supposedly great things, he's leading by 1.7. Arguably some of the biggest upheavals we have ever seen in a presidential race, a truly bad performance from Biden, probably the worst since Nixon, surviving an assassination attempt, choosing your VP after months, if not years of speculation. And what you get out of it is 0.2 percentage points. So Trump may well have hit a ceiling here. It's hard to make any argument for Trump getting more than 47 or so percent of the vote in November. And so what we can see is that it's going to come down to turnout. It's going to come down to what slice of voters in the critical swing states decide to vote third party or stay home. And meanwhile, as Trump seems to have hit this ceiling, Kamala Harris seems to just be getting started. Now, this is not a prediction. It's not a guarantee. It's nothing other than an assessment of where we are right now. And there's a reason that MAGA world is panicking about the fact that JD Vance seems to be turning voters off rather than turning them on. That's why there's panic within MAGA that Donald Trump seems unable to articulate why he even selected JD Vance, and that's what I want to talk about next. You know, in the past, every time I move to a new place or it's time to redecorate, the one thing I have no clue about is window treatments. What's the best color? What's the right type of blind? What about this weirdly shaped window? I don't know how to install them. And that's why I turned to 3-day blinds for blinds, shades, shutters, and drapery. Our sponsor, 3-Day Blinds, is the leading manufacturer of custom window treatments in the US, and my audience can buy one and get one 50% off. 3-Day Blinds has local, professionally trained design consultants who can come to your home, guide you on the right blinds for you. If you're not handy, no problem, because 3-Day Blinds will come to your house and install everything. And with over 45 years in business, 3-Day Blinds is the highest rated blinds company on Trustpilot. Right now, 3-Day Blinds is offering my audience buy one, get one 50% off on custom blinds, shades, shutters, and drapery, even smart motorized products. For a free, no charge, no obligation consultation, go to 3dayblinds.com/Pacman. The link is in the description.